Erev Tov, good evening, and good morning to our American friends. I would like to give you a short 15-minute presentation of the status of research at the Hebrew University during this past challenging year. I will not talk much about Corona because this was already mentioned yesterday. But we had a tremendous year in research overall, and I would like to start presenting that with solid numbers, which are, of course, objective. So let me go through the three major funding agencies: the Israel Science Foundation, the European Research Council, and the Binational Science Foundation. Our main funding body for science in Israel is the Israel Science Foundation, for research grants, of course. And you can see that we had a tremendous growth in the past year. We achieved many more research grants that we managed to achieve the previous years. This shows, I think, partly the growth that we had and the rejuvenation that the university is going through. You can see the number of grants, 164 grants that we secured compared to what the other universities in Israel did. It's a tremendous success. If we can continue like that, we will be extremely happy. European Research Council, these amazing large grants of between 1.5 to 3 million euros. You can see a list of them here. I will show specific examples later. And the total amount is 21 million euros, roughly similar to what we had in past years. It's not our record, and we can, of course, improve on that, and I hope we will. But this is quite a fantastic results, and I will show again a specific example of the exciting science and research that is going through this later. The collaborative grants with the US, the BSF, you can see in green our share of the pie. About a quarter of the funding is coming to the Hebrew University, which is, again, amazing, and I hope this can continue. Okay, enough with numbers. Let's go with some example of exciting science that is going on. Nir Friedman received this ERC grant, trying to develop a system to measure diseases or other characteristics of the human body from simple blood tests without doing a standard biopsy that has to penetrate a tumor or some defect that you have in your body. This is a complicated procedure. It combines computational medicine because you have to take blood samples to find free DNA that is not connected to a cell that is floating in those blood samples, to sequence them to understand the letters of the DNA that are in there. And from small changes in them, you can understand which are the organs in the human body that released those DNAs and what is different between them and standard patients. So they'll make catalogs of healthy people, sick people, and try to make a computational method that will be able to diagnose you from a simple blood test. This can be, of course, revolutionary, and it has also great applications. Kolo Neurons is another project by Yoram Burak, another ERC grant. This is a synergy grant that is done with collaboration with another research, in this case, a Nobel laureate. And here they aim at measuring the activity of neurons, but not one by one, as is traditionally done, but 100 or 1,000 of them together to see how they operate and how they orchestrate the interaction between the neurons to make a functioning brain. Ori Katz, from the physics department, is trying to use computational techniques to overcome scattering that blurs the images. You can see here some examples, fog or some screen that makes the image blur, but the information is actually still there. You can use ultrasound to penetrate deep into things that we cannot see because they are opaque, but then you lose resolution. You can use optical techniques, which have very good resolution, but then they don't penetrate. So the idea is that if we can calculate the scattering and using computer deconvolve to understand what was the original object that emitted that radiation, we will be able to have very clear images of things that are somewhat behind the screen or the scattering object that we have. Another quite large grant, $1.8 million from the Helmsley Foundation to do research in Crohn's disease. This is a collaboration between a doctor from Shaarei Tzedek, Yuval Dor from Hadassah, and Moran Yasur, who is a joint appointment between the computational science and medicine faculty. In the humanities, we had great achievements. Articles published in Science about a new kind of humans, ancient humans, that existed here before the Neanderthals and before the Homo sapiens, before us. And this is research by Yossi Zeidner, and you can see here images from the excavation that he has in Ramle. I will tell you also that Yossi has even another cave that he's developing now, who promises to have even more amazing information. This can tell us about the evolution of human population and the different kinds of creatures that developed to be the humans other than the Homo sapiens that we are. Let me give now a few minutes to centers at the Hebrew University, new centers that we're pushing. Of course, we have about 100 centers university-wide, but these are the centers that we're promoting now and we're pushing forward. You have heard already on the Sustainability Center yesterday. We are making a big push to tremendously improve the infrastructure at the university. Some of it is somewhat old, but we're making sure that we have world-class standard facilities all over the university. And one example is the ABSL-3 lab, for which we got great donation from you, that will allow us to do research in pathogens, especially corona, but not only. And we'll expand both our research capabilities, new instruments that will come into this lab. This lab will encapsulate any pathogen inside it and will protect the researcher and the environment. It will be a unique lab in Israel, and I think it will put our university forward, and many people will come here to try to understand corona and other pathogens. We're trying to take a holistic view of the infrastructure at the university. You know that our university is spread on different campuses, and we're trying to turn that from difficulty into an advantage. We're trying to make here an economy of scales, to combine the abilities of different campuses, to see the whole distribution of efforts in a holistic view, and try to build here the really world-class core facilities for the university. We'll need more help for that, but I think we're going in the right direction in a good pace. In one of these efforts is making the new Center for Computational Medicine with this new amazing building by Adelis. I think you have already heard that earlier from Dina, so I will not spend too much time on that, but this will solve a lot of problems that we have in the Inkarem campus and will make research there run forward faster. Another effort in the same direction is research computing services that we now provide in a centralized way to all the universities. You know that modern research requires more and more computational power. We have now a centralized computer unit. This is now just the tip of the iceberg of what we're going to do. You see here on these figures how many people are using this, and you see that month by month the numbers grow, and I think we'll get to many hundreds very soon. They're using more and more computational power. This is shown here in blue, and more storage for data as shown in the green part. We have invested considerably both in the equipment, the scientific equipment itself, about $2 million, and also in the infrastructure where it is located. We're renovating now a new building that can host many more than what you see in here, and that is going to cost $3 million. We have in the humanities a new center for digital humanities. We just received, I'm happy to say, a 4 million new Israeli shekels grant to investigate humanities, but with digital tools. All kinds of topics, but the focus here is on the tools that you're using in order to do that research. We believe this is a major avenue of progress in humanities, and the Hebrew University is definitely leading that. Let me finish by pointing out our tech transfer company, Isum. They also did very, very well in this past year, continued to distribute license, to bring sponsored research from companies to the Hebrew University, to file patents, and created new spin-offs. Because I'm short of time, I will just mention one. Savorit, which is a company by Oded Shosayev and Nidor Braslavsky from the Faculty of Agriculture. And they are basically doing a 3D printing of food. This is very versatile and can be programmed uniquely to each customer, not even each store, but each customer coming to the store. I think this is a good point to stop with these tasty burgers. And I'll bring the back Hila, and which will run the second and exciting part of this ceremony, which is the prizes of some of our faculty and students. Thank you.